We got an unexpected secret lair drop that is available now and features dogs and cats, which means it has to be fantastic, except it kind of isn't, and we're going to talk about why. So let's jump into the video. Alright everybody, thank you so much for being here. Be sure to hit that like button if you do enjoy the video, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Click that bell icon if you want to be notified when new videos are posted. But yes, we are going to talk today about the dogs are better than cats secret lair, as well as the cats are better than dogs secret lair. These are both up now, available for purchase on the Chaos Vault section of the secret lair site. We have seen teasers for some of this artwork previously from the original Chaos Vault article they posted a while back, so you may recognize a couple, but I just wanted to go through it pretty quickly. I have to say a couple things just right off the bat. This is a pretty cool concept because what they're doing here is they're taking two different secret lairs, the dogs and the cats, and there's actually a contest here, sort of, based on which one will sell better. So, this is what they're saying. We're going to be releasing a full super drop in 2026 that is either all dogs or all cats. Depends on which one sells better. So if the dog one sells better than the cats, we get an all dog super drop in 2026, which means a bunch of secret lairs that are all dog oriented. And then obviously the cat one, if the cats win, then it goes the same. So it's kind of a cool concept. I like that they're trying some unique stuff with the Chaos Vault. I do appreciate it, even if I don't think this secret lair is that great from a card inclusion perspective. Chaos Vault so far has had some interesting things tested out. They did the lands. Those lands, unfortunately, for me, were not aesthetically all that pleasing. So I didn't love them. I didn't feel compelled to buy them, but I did like the experimenting with, like, you know, X copies of a single land. I do like that and think it's a good move. So it's just kind of like the way they chose to go about it versus the way it plays out. But again, I digress. Let's talk about the cards that are actually in here. Let's take a quick look at the values. We'll go through them all. So dogs are better than cats. You've got $39.99 for the foil and $29.99 for non-foil. Pretty standard stuff. Nothing overly expensive here. And I believe that these are going to be, I think these might be print to order, but I'm not 100% sure. You would think that it would be because of the fact that they're doing a contest, but it may not. I mean, if they both just sell out, they both sell out. I guess we'll have to see kind of how that one shakes out. So we've got Basilisk Collar. Now, some of you guys may actually remember this art. This was one of the ones I mentioned that they previewed. This is about a $2 card at the cheapest right now. So even you know, taking into consideration that the artwork is fantastic and the card is actually played, it's not off to the hottest start. But I do have to say, I think the artwork on this is probably my favorite out of the entire drop. It'll definitely be a cool card to have, and probably one that I would say you might be better off picking up singles for. But it's, you know, it's still worth at least noting that it's in here. Obviously, I have this, you know, I've gone on tangents before in previous videos about how, like, they'll release a secret lair drop and they'll put a card like Deflecting Swan in there, knowing it's going to sell right away, and it sells out super fast, and then all the other ones just don't have much. And what it tells me is that, like, they're aware that they can, you know, get them to sell better by putting other things in it, which probably an obvious statement. But it makes me wonder why they don't do it more often, because we still have a lot of secret lairs that are available that just don't sell out. So, or that are still available going back months. So it's like, I don't know, there's got to be a middle ground where, like, they know that they can put some stuff in there. I'm not saying you have to load them with reprints. From a, you know, objective standpoint, like, yeah, there's no reason they couldn't put an expensive card in every single one. But I've accepted the fact that they're not going to do that. It is what it is. I don't have to like it, but I can just accept that that's the reality. But still, I think putting something in there that's got a bit more value would not hurt either. And that's just kind of, you know, my personal mindset on it. So as we pivot over to some other stuff in here, we've got Arcane Signet, which is about you know, when it's Arcane Signet, it's what, $1, 48 cents plus shipping, but generally speaking, Arcane Signet is about $1 at its cheapest version. But the important thing to note here is, of course, that when it comes to things like this, the Arcane Signet, Soul Rings, etc., from these special drops do age quite well. Arcane Signet is a staple that is played in almost every Commander deck. I probably played in 99.9% of Commander decks, honestly. So it's just, it's going to be a card that's going to have value based on people liking its artwork. It is absolutely adorable, I'm not going to lie. You know, but and an Arcane Signet being included in a secret lair is not something I'm ever going to complain about, as long as the other cards are good. And of course, that's kind of where we get the, you know, when the biggest chase card most likely out of here in terms of long-term value is probably going to be this Signet. It's not the best sign for the actual drop itself. But again, the artwork here is fantastic, and I do feel like that's worth mentioning. It's just not, you know, it's not everything we're hoping for so far. Now we've got Rip Apart here, which is from Strixhaven. It's like a 21-cent card, give or take. Again, adorable artwork. I love the flavor text and the cursed kind of stuff in the background. It's really well drawn and it's really cool. It's just, it's worth nothing, and you're asking people to spend $30 on this when we're so far at a value of $4 in overall, you know, quote unquote value, not counting, you know, some foil upgrades and stuff, but nothing in here is really like, is even close to crazy, even at the foil level. So again, it's really cute and I really like the art on it, but I just don't think the card is going to command any real sense of value. So that's something to keep in mind. We've got Titanic Ultimatum, which again, fantastic choice of artwork here. About a 8, for some reason TCG Player is showing me mod play, which does nothing for anyone, but little live editing as we go through here. Let's set it to near mint. It's about $2.15 with $1 shipping. We'll call it $3 to be generous for this card. So it's got, you know, 2 different versions. It's originally also in Shards of Alara. In fairness, the foil version from Shards of Alara is a little bit more, so there's a bit more value on the back end of this, but I mean, I'm kind of grasping at straws to try to argue the value of this a little bit here. It's a good card. It works well within those colors, obviously. Just again, a very low value reprint, you know, with the foil being the exception, but even then you're paying more for foil, and the foiling versions of everything else here is kind of low too. And then lastly, we've got Escape to the Wilds. That one is from Commander Legend Baldur's Gate, and I'm just realizing now that I made that invisible. So like 30 cents. For this, you know, some shipping and whatnot, but that's a pretty solidly where it's at. Interesting note that it doesn't have it does have a foil print, but it's been a while since one came out. But even that foil print from Throne of Eldraine is like 79 cents. So it's decent, and it fits obviously within the Gruul color combinations that dogs are, you know, very commonly using. But as a whole, it's just no value there. So we're looking at, I'm being generous here, about $7 to $8 of value overall in terms of the reprints, which puts this Secret Lair solely in the art or bust category, right? You're buying it if you like the art, but I mean, realistically speaking, it's like you're spending $30, and you're getting next to nothing in terms of real return for your purchase. Now, I'm not suggesting that this is something people should go buy and scalp. That I want to make that very clear. But still, when you're spending your money on something, even if it is something you like because you want it, it's good to at least be aware of what you're getting versus what, you know, the overall price point is. And maybe you only really like the art on 2 out of the 5, and then you're better off just buying the singles when they come out. That's just kind of one of the things to consider on that. Now, the cats is the same cards, which is really interesting strategy, but I kind of get it. It fits in with the whole theme. Escape to the Wilds here, beautiful artwork. We did see that previewed before. Rip Apart here also. I like the dog one better, but it's still kind of cute, you know, depending on your preference. I love Titanic Ultimatum. This is awesome. I think both artworks are really good, but again, it's just it's really going to be a matter of whether or not there's any actual demand. Arcane Signet, this is adorable. This is going to be the highest performer out of this, I think, as well. Just kind of the way it's going to go. And then Basilisk Collar here. I really like the artwork on it. Again, I keep saying that, but the value is just not, you know, what you're really hoping for out of these. So, I mean, for a pop-up Secret Lair, it's not the worst, but it is kind of shitty in terms of the actual cards they chose to include, especially one where they're trying to incentivize people to buy for a showdown, for a fun idea, but you're charging full price and not really offering the best reprints. And I just think someone, you know, I think it's worth calling out that even though the art does look nice, and you could certainly buy it if you're a fan of the aesthetic, that the actual value versus what you're being asked to spend here is not there. So these are a skip for me, but I know people will buy them, and I do look forward to seeing the super drops, which generally will have a better, you know, sense of things if we get like 4 or 5 different super drops. Will it be cats? Will it be dogs? Will you buy these? Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think, because obviously I'm just one person, and there's a lot of people who may really like this and want to buy it, so I'm curious what the general consensus is from the player base. I'll catch you guys in the next video.